Welcome once again to our show, and thank you for watching. It's you, our viewing audience, that makes this such an important show on cable television. I want to thank everyone who makes this show possible. I want to thank Pops and the Illinois Committee for Honest Government who sponsored this show. And of course, this show and all our shows for 2015 are in memory of Randall Sherman, the founder of the Illinois Committee for Honest Government, who brought us into TV. And Bill Godomsky, who does almost all the shows here at cable television. Of course, CAN TV itself, the cable access network, channels 19 and 21. You'll also see this on the internet, on YouTube, or blip.tv, or some other internet format. But you'll at least see this on YouTube. And also, I would like to thank Fred the Oak Tree, Oak, who is like an oak tree, just here supporting us. Of course, on my left, I have Don Ritchie, who is my co-host, who is an advocate for public transit. And on my right, I have our guest, Zehra Quadri, who's a candidate for Alderman in the 50th Ward of the City of Chicago. Zehra, thank you for being on our show.
Thank you very much. I'm happy and honored to be here.
Now, Zehra, let's start right into it. Give me a couple-minute version of who you are. What's your biography in a couple minutes? Who is Zehra Quadri?
Zehra Quadri, like you mentioned, I'm a candidate for 50th Ward Alderman, and I came from India in 1987, and I had some personal problems, and I got education from India in political science as well as child education. When I came in this country, I took some classes, and I was working 2 full-time jobs. I was having some personal issues, and I had 2 daughters. So what we did, we created a not-for-profit organization called ZAMP's Hope Community Resource Center. We have after-school programs, senior services, food, and ESL classes. So what we are doing, we're trying to engage in community with us. Is a not-for-profit organization, and also I'm a DAC committee member, as well as I work for Cook County government as assistant grants management director.
Okay.
And I also work as assistant chief deputy clerk in juvenile justice division with Cook County government.
Okay, with the clerk of the circuit court.
Yes.
So you work for Tony Preckwinkle at Cook County government, the president of Cook County board, as well as the clerk of the circuit court.
Yeah. And also, I work for Assessor Joseph Berrio's office and Cook County, property taxes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have a good range of county government.
Yes.
and different levels of government.
Right. And I also work for United Airlines, so I do have private experience as well.
So you've had private and public, and of course not-for-profit.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about your not-for-profit organization. This what you do.
We have after-school program, we have senior services. I know it's like our mission is really wide mission, but people really need a center where they can go and talk and resolve some issues. We have language barrier in our neighborhood. 50th Ward actually is very diverse group, and there's no option for people. So when I was personally going through some personal problems, so we created a beautiful not-for-profit organization. We have grocery distribution, people usually bringing letters, they don't know what is that, so we are trying to translate. We speak 7 different languages, and we are serving.
What are some of the languages that your organization translates in and speaks?
Hindi, Urdu, Gujarati, Punjabi. We have Arab speaking. We have Hispanic community coming with us. We have good volunteers coming and working with us.
Okay, good.
Yugoslavian. So we are serving.
So it's not just geared to the Indian community,
right,
or a Hindu or a Muslim community.
No, not
it's
at
anybody who can come there.
We are serving basically humanity.
Okay, I think that's wonderful.
Yes, and I also got I recently got appointed as an ambassador for International Commission on Human Rights.
Oh, excellent,
yes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And I know that, so some of the ladies in your group make products and then they sell their products, right?
Yes, I'm a fashion designer. We design clothes as well. We do fashion shows, and we have elected official walking as a VIP model, so we auction those items. We have a boutique now where anybody can bring any items and we can sell and they can make some money.
Excellent.
Yeah, and also we have commercial kitchen now. Is not started yet, but yes, we are kitchen. Our kitchen is ready. I got license ready, but we are changing our zoning, so we are waiting from City of Chicago. So commercial kitchen, we can put ladies to work. Anyone can rent our kitchen, prepare food. We can provide sanitation classes, and they can start business.
It sounds like you're really doing a lot of
A
good
lot,
in your
yes.
community,
Yeah.
Zehra. Why have you decided to run for alderman now?
I see this is like a lack. Whatever we are doing, public service, and it's not happening. We are so disconnected from City of Chicago, basically. City Hall and our alderman's office, there's communication problem, and we don't see very active activities basically going with the citizens as well as with alderman's office.
Now, who is the alderman in the 50th Ward?
Alderman Deborah Silverstein.
And are you running against her then?
Yes, yes, I
It's
am.
not, oh, right.
Mhm.
And so you feel that you can do a better job than she's doing right now?
Definitely.
All right. What would you do different from what she is doing?
Different, aldermen receive $1.3 million every year. So what we are doing, we created an executive committee basically. And under executive committee, we have 6 commissions. So we will be dedicating $200,000 to each after school, youth program, seniors program, businesses, clergy, and block club. So people can feel free to utilize those dollars according to their needs. This is a very good program, and $1.3 million, this is basically coming is a tax dollar, and we should be spending, and we should be asking our 50th Ward residents how to spend.
Well, now, are you familiar with the TIF program, Zehra,
Yes.
tax increment financing?
Yeah.
What do you think about the TIF program here in Chicago?
It should be more flexible and more transparency, actually, that I see is a lack there, and that's why we are bringing fiscal transparency. And we also receive TIF funding for our remodeling and building kitchen. So I know how the whole thing works, but it's like it should be more transparent, the whole project, and more flexible.
I see. Now, I think I mentioned this to you already. I'm a member of an organization called Citizens Taking Action,
Mm-hmm.
which Frank mentioned briefly. Citizens Taking Action is an organization that campaigns to support and, if possible, improve
Mm-hmm.
public transportation here in the state of Illinois, and especially here in Chicago.
Yeah.
Now, what we've been observing for a while now is that there have been cutbacks in bus service,
Mm-hmm.
and now there are even cutbacks in train service,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you look over the long run.
Right.
And it's becoming harder and harder for people to get around by public transportation.
Mm-hmm.
More and more people are having to travel by car.
Yeah.
And what are your thoughts on this? What do you think about this public transportation issue, and what would you, what are your thoughts on this?
Actually, people are not really talking about, but yes, we do have cutback of public transportation, but people are not talking about any, we don't have any train station, in 50th Ward, we have just buses. 51 is very, busy street and a service. Other than that, we are having job issues here. We are having, refugees coming to 50th Ward. There's so many refugees from Burma, Iraq, and Afghanistan here and there. So we really need to set up programs for these refugees. Government pays only for 3 months. We are very thankful for that. But after 3 months, what these refugees gonna do? How are they gonna pay rent? Nobody's thinking about that. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to bring textile business, so we can put people to work. And my commitment is to bringing 1,000 jobs. And it is easy to do it because I am actually working on hospital contracts. We can go to local hospital and bringing, their bed sheets, bed covers, washcloth, pillowcases, so we can put people to work. And it is easy to get it. It's very easy to do it. We just need a dedication and, commitment, basically. And I am very committed and very passionate about serving humanity. So I'll do that
I
job.
see.
Now, is there a crime issue? Is there a public safety issue in the 50th Ward?
Yes. Crime, we are still, thank God, we are still better than other wards, and crime going higher because people have nothing to do. I mean, there's no activities at all for seniors, for youth. You know, we have to have option for people. Government have to work hard. Government have to put more projects. Like I mentioned, I was working as Assistant Grants Management Director with Cook County Government. My job was bringing and searching projects, grants for local government. And you know, I have to read all these requirements and stuff like that. I found there's so much money, so many projects sitting, the people not aware. So what I am suggesting that I will be bringing more programs. You know, I feel bad for school teachers because we speak so many language and teachers have no support at all. So we will be bringing more ESL money in and more projects, you know, for not-for-profit organization. And right now we are working on community garden, so seniors and youth. You see, is a huge gap between seniors and youth. So we can put these people to work with positive activities. When there's the option, I don't see the people is going to feel like, you know, they have nothing to do and they will be focusing on negativity. So that's why we are saying. So also food pantry is really important. And as soon as you put people to work, you know, they can pay their bills, they can eat properly. Right now, people losing job after 3-4 months, you know, they have forcible eviction coming and just like, you know, 5-day notice. They have no idea what the whole structure is. They are moving to Chicago, they're moving to United States, but there's no training basically. So that's why we are creating ESL classes, more ESL classes as well as job for people for 50th Ward.
Zehra, you mentioned a lot of ideas that you have about improving the public schools and such as ESL classes. Would you support an elected school board?
Yes, I do. I am.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right, that's great.
And I do not support charter schools.
Oh, so you
Yes.
you oppose the charter schools?
Yes, I do.
What do you think about the school closings that have been going on? Has your ward been affected by these school closings at all? And what's your take on the school closings and
No, I feel really bad for communities, you know, that they don't have a community school, basically public school in their neighborhood, and we're not affected right now. I mean, I'm better than, you know, other areas, other wards, but I feel really bad that government not working hard for people right now. And that's why I'm just trying to show. When I started a not-for-profit organization 16 years ago, people were thinking that I'm crazy, you know. I had a vision, you know, at that time, and now I am taking, you know, my commitment on a higher level.
were any public schools in your ward converted into charter schools?
Not really, not
All
yet.
right, but you did say that you oppose the charter schools.
Yes,
now,
I
what
do.
is your reason for opposing the charter schools, Zehra?
I feel like public charter school is just, I heard about UNO, you know, and you know, about corruption and all these things. Is better that you should have public school and support local system, not private. I mean,
Oh.
I don't like outsourcing at all. And I see your, you know, venture card
yes,
and all
that's
this.
right.
It's like waste of money, basically, you know. This is, their non-stop changing, you know, system is not good.
Yes, yes. For our viewers who may not be familiar, I wrote an article which Zehra is referring to, titled "Ventra, a $454 million fiasco," and which I explained that the Ventra system is inherently bad. It was a bad idea to outsource our fare collection to this company, and the whole thing should be abolished. Now,
I agree.
but on the subject of privatization, you briefly mentioned UNO, and I wonder if you could explain for our audience who may not be familiar, what exactly is UNO and what are the issues involved with that?
Actually, UNO I heard on TV, and is just is a bad example right now. You know, is I heard about corruption, they're missing, executive director resigning and all these fraud going on and, investigation going on. So I'm not keeping up with that. My focus is just to focus on my campaign and working on my ideas that I'm telling people, meeting residents, and they're talking about, they're worrying about safety is number one, jobs, people losing jobs. So we are just trying to focus on those issues right now.
Let me ask you a question. Are you for or against red light cameras?
Yes, as a revenue tool, I don't support, but as a safety, I do support.
And what about speed cameras?
Speeding, again, the same thing. For safety purposes, yes, it's fine, but not as a revenue tool. I feel bad for general public, people losing jobs, they're having a hard time, and government, we're just paying taxes over and over. Nobody's thinking about these things, like yellow light, issues and people receiving tickets. There's not, nobody's thinking about general public right now. We worry about taxes, property taxes going higher. We need to educate. We need to bring more programs where we can educate community. There's so many programs. It's like Assessor Joseph Berrio's office. We need to tell property owners how to reduce your property taxes, basically. People not aware about that process. So we will be educating and having some classes and non-stop educational seminars so people know how to do it, and you really have to do every year. People think just okay, you can file appeal, and it is hard that you have to have an attorney. You don't have to have an attorney to file appeal. You can do it. And second, if you're doing for 1 year, you have to do every year. It's not automatically. People not aware of all these. This is
what
a small
about
thing, but
economic development for your ward? What are some of the unique? Because I know you have an interesting ward. You have a large community from South Asia, the subcontinent, as they say, from India and Pakistan specifically. A lot of people who are Muslims and Hindus, but also Sikhs and Jains, Buddhists, Sri Lankans, Afghanis, Bangladesh, people from Bangladesh, that region of the world. And so that brings some challenges because, like you said, different languages. A number people don't realize not everybody speaks the same language in Pakistan or India.
Right.
You could speak
many
languages.
Yes.
Whether it's Punjabi or Hindi or Tamil or Gujarati or whatever it is, but it also brings an opportunity for international business.
Right.
Because in India, especially in Bangalore, you have a huge software industry. I saw that Mayor Daley is attracting foreign investment. You're getting a green card if they can invest $1 million in a project. So I'm sure there's people from India and Pakistan that are in various fields. And again, if you go to Bangalore, you have many people who are in the, Microsoft networking, Cisco router engineering, software programming. India is a booming economy. Kind of in the 70s and 80s was a socialist kind of backwater. There wasn't a lot of morale, but you've really seen an explosion in the economy in India. India is really on the rise as an economy. And what can be related from the 50th ward to India and making the 50th ward an international economy?
Actually, 50th Ward, we can start thinking about international is a hub.
Also, Israel. I know there's a big thing in LA about Israeli businesses. Big Syrian community, very hardworking community. So you have a lot of different communities there.
People just talk about India and Pakistani community only when you think about Divan, and I really feel bad that we're not thinking about other countries as well. And like I visited many stores around Divan Avenue during Christmas time, Thanksgiving. We can even find Christmas gifts. We can even find Christmas decoration or Thanksgiving decoration. They said we don't celebrate, that's why we're not keeping. This is really sad. Look who's living in our ward. So we have to cater everybody, not just Indian, Pakistani. And I'm from India, don't get me wrong. I mean, I love my country, but the problem is we have to think about other countries. We have to celebrate. Because
you have a large Syrian community.
Syrian community,
obviously,
Hispanic community, Nigerian, African American, Caucasian. We have Jewish community. So it's just like we have to work with everybody, not only two communities like India and Pakistan. So our projects is going to take, in our own, already I see different nationalities.
Well, just like Bangalore is a tech center, Israel is a huge tech center also.
Right.
And I think that also Orthodox Jews have their own economic development, and there's a lot that can be done. I mean, I really see a lot of potential in the 50th Ward.
Yes. I can wait to be, alderman for 50th Ward. I have energy and I'm very dedicated and passionate. So I'm working hard and I'm requesting everyone to come out and support on election day or early voting.
Okay. Now, when is early voting start?
February 9th through 21st,
And when is the election?
24th of February.
And I see it on your pen, but tell everything else, what's your punch number?
53.
Now, let's talk about some other revenues. Would you support a commuter tax or what's alternately be called the congestion tax?
I don't support that.
Okay.
I'm not supporting any. Increasing tax is not good for our general public.
What about a financial transaction fee or tax on, let's the so-called LaSalle Street tax?
I feel bad. I do not support. Just
Okay.
I think about. It's just like we're already government non-stop asking and asking and asking. Nobody's thinking about just start from bottom. Just lower. Is nobody thinking? People losing job. People having hard time. They don't even have electricity. No gas. How people living? You need really. Refugees and it's really bad in our area. Really bad in our area. We really need to start from bottom and improving, bringing more programs. Again, I'm going to repeat the same thing, that we really need to bring extra dollar from federal government towards to these not-for-profit organizations for uplifting community. And I see we have to put people to work.
Now, what about the casino? Do you support an idea of a casino in Chicago?
It's against my religion, but I'm not going to stop anyone to do it. Just like I can drink, I cannot, I can drink alcohol, but I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to tell people that, oh, you shouldn't be selling, or you shouldn't be drinking. This is your personal choice, basically.
Okay. And could that be a way to get revenue for the city?
Kind of, yes.
Okay.
But it's not, I'm not really positive. Like I said, it's against, so I don't oppose. If this is your choice, go ahead. It's people's choice, basically.
Well, Zehra, what would you do to bring more revenue to the city of Chicago?
My focus is, again, international business, bringing textile business. And again, we are putting people to work. I visited Dubai many times, and I see that they are crazy about made in America items. So my focus is just going that way. Just why don't we all just made in America?
To expand the tax base?
Yes.
So a growing economy would increase tax revenue naturally.
Naturally, exactly.
Okay. And Dubai is an amazing place and
Oh
a
my
model
God,
for a lot of things for what we could do here.
I visited twice, and I'm very impressed. I have very good contact. They appointed me as an ambassador, for International Commission on Human Rights. So I have very good international contact that I will be bringing, towards to 50th Ward.
Okay.
We can improve. It's like so much potential for 50th Ward in future.
Zehra, you were talking about refugees. By refugee, are you talking about people from another country who have come here to the U.S. Seeking asylum?
Yes.
Because they had if I remember what the legal definition of a refugee is, because they would have been persecuted in their home country? I
really don't know the background, but yes, he's an attorney. He can tell us better.
Yes. What do you know about this, Frank?
Well, no, there's definitely refugees there, I know, from many different countries. Right. And I think that you're right that you can bring federal dollars into this. Now, what about education? Do you have enough schools in the 50th Ward?
Yes, we do have enough schools, but we need to, again, bringing educational programs, for not-for-profit organizations where they can educate community.
Now, are there enough after-school programs, not just for tutoring?
Really.
No, okay.
Not really.
Now, what about for-profit, like Kuman or Mathnasium, things like that? Are there those in the area?
No, not really. So we will be bringing more programs, more options for 50th Ward.
But you'd prefer it be done through public schools rather than through to contractors, charter schools, like the UNO company. Oh, all right. And I think we mentioned the crime area earlier, but you feel that economic development and these improvements in the public schools would
gonna
go a long
lower
way
the
toward reducing
Yes,
the amount of
definitely,
violent
yeah.
crime in your ward.
Okay, people, like I said, no jobs, right? No activities. They have kids. I don't blame to these people. Robberies and all this, they have to eat. They have to pay their rent, you know, and there's no other options. So if we can open door for this, you know, 50th Ward residents, I see that we can do a lot.
Now, we're almost out of time.
Okay.
So
Already?
what I'd like you to say to our viewing audience, now look at the camera, tell our viewing audience, first of all, what's your name? What's your punch number? What ward you're running in? You can tell about the ward boundaries a little bit, because I don't think we talk too much about the ward boundaries, both the neighborhoods and the boundaries. Your website and your phone number, which has been playing on the screen for this entire show.
Sure. My name is Zehra Quadri again, and I'm a candidate for 50th Ward. My punch number is 53, and our boundaries, Peterson from Peterson, oh my goodness, Ridge to Kedzie and Peterson to Howard. And website is www.zehraqadri.com, and telephone number is 773-344-7861.
Okay. And if anybody in our viewing audience has questions for Zehra Quadri, if you live in the 50th Ward, so if you live between somewhere, and it digs in and out, but between Howard, or Peterson to Howard, and from Kedzie to Ridge,
right.
and if you live in that area, which includes the neighborhoods, I think, of East Rogers Park, or West Rogers Park. What are some of the other communities?
West Ridge.
West Ridge? Okay. So West Ridge, West Rogers Park, if you're living in those communities, you can vote for Zehra Quadri or one of the other candidates. And if you like what you're hearing today, then maybe you could volunteer and support her, or you could call or ask for questions or even criticize and comment, as you wish. And so, but if you like what you're hearing, you can volunteer for her campaign, and most importantly, you can vote for your numbers 53, is that correct?
53.
Okay, 53. And clearly, she's a very committed and passionate candidate for this office. And I think somebody that would do her best to do a good job, and is very committed to refugees and working class people, middle class people, and low income people that need the assistance of government and the like. And so I really appreciate you being on our show.
Thank you.
And I really appreciate Don Ritchie, you being my co-host today, and I thank everybody for helping out with this show. Don, do you have any last comments for us today?
Well, I can't think of any, except I'd like to wish you good luck in your campaign, Zehra.
Thank you very much.
And I'll just and thanks for having me on the show, Frank.
It's always a pleasure.
Thanks for coming on our show.
My pleasure.
And also to the audience, thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Goodbye, and God bless.